when I saw that, it was a bit startling for me because I hadn't seen it before. And then I saw some of your other origins, which looked like red avians, and I've seen other type of avian species that you have tried out in your, I guess we'd call it incarnations. But what are blue avians? Hi, everybody. I made it live. Woo! I'm happy that you're joining us. We are going to be channeling the blue avians today, and specific questions about how do you know if you've had lifetimes as a blue avian. And joining me with my special guest is blue avian himself, Paul Milgis. I mean, you can't do a live like this without actually bringing on a blue avian, right? Paul was actually the very first person that I ever have met during a session who had blue avian lifetimes. He doesn't just have blue avian lifetimes. He actually has what I have seen as being like red avians. And Paul has also had other type of bird being lifetimes. He has had the full gamut, let me tell you. In fact, Paul has had more lifetimes combined than myself. So there's no one better to bring on and join us when talking about this topic. There's just so much to learn about the blue avians, and I know that it's not one of the dominant ET or starseed origins that I see on Earth. The dominant two that I see, and when I've conversed with other mediums, the dominant two starseed origins that are, you would look at this as your soul incarnating in different vessels. So what is the most dominant other than human on Earth? And the two that myself and many other mediums have seen are Arcturian and Pleiadian. So there's Paul, and he's ready to rumble. So let's bring him up. I know you converse about this topic a lot on your YouTube channel, Paul Milgis, and also on TikTok, and also Instagram is super blowing up for you right now, like big time. So it's really exciting to talk about this topic with you. And if anyone wants to go and find you, they just type in Paul Milgis and they'll find you. We'll also put your contact info in the below box accordingly afterwards. So here's a question for you. What are blue avians? It's so mystique-like. What are they?
Oh, we'll never know. Yep. I have been talking about them a lot, and almost like talking about them a little too much, it feels like some times. But actually, I really enjoy talking about them because they're not talked about as much as they are some other starseed origins.
Yeah.
And I've been having some people come to me recently that have had these blue avian origins, and they really needed help.
Yeah.
And
they came to the right person.
Yeah, for sure.
The pro.
Yeah, and it's funny. Yeah, on Instagram, that's where most people have been finding me now. Usually on TikTok, people are so like scrolling so much, it didn't really. People are just like, oh, whatever, you know, that they just click on whatever. But Instagram seems to be where people are finding me the most, which is pretty cool. Yeah, people seem to be pretty interested about blue avians, so that's cool.
So blue avians, when I first saw blue avians, the very first time was when we had a session together, and what I was seeing was a blue bird-like being with what looked to me like gold eyes and bird-like features, and so when I saw that, it was a bit startling for me. Because I hadn't seen it before. And then I saw some of your other origins, which looked like red avians, and I've seen other type of avian species that you have tried out in your, I guess we'd call it incarnations. But what are blue avians?
Well, there's many different types of blue avians, but uh, the reason I think that they show up as blue is that there's a lot of ETs that are showing up with the color blue, like Arcturians, and there's some Syrians and many others. And I feel like that's a very high vibrational color of the universe.
Mm.
And it's pretty cool that they are showing up in this type of color. We see it like repeated over and over again. But these blue avians that I was incarnating as, they're more in the fourth dimension, and they're very advanced. They're like really big bird beings, basically.
Big.
So just imagine like a really big bird here on Earth.
Yeah.
Except it's just standing a little bit more upright, and it's like 5 feet tall. So like it's like the biggest bird you've ever seen, basically.
With way more consciousness and awareness.
These birds are way more intelligent. And I was asking in the shower the other day, I was like, the weird things I asked in the shower, channeling. But I was asking, are these avians, were they smarter than like dolphins and things? And yes, they had like a more advanced consciousness.
Yeah.
But then I went on to ask, do humans have a more advanced consciousness? And they said humans have a capacity to have a more advanced consciousness going forward. So I think that was pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool how they would communicate in all different types of ways through like images and telepathy and through energy. That's how they would communicate, and of course sounds and noises and things. But they were more physical beings, the ones I was incarnating as. Even though they were quite advanced consciously, they were more physical. So, and then you look at some of the higher dimensional ones, some of them that we're probably going to talk to today, that they work with us too. And I'm sure they work with those lower types of beings as well, blue avians.
All together.
And I'm sure they work with me here on Earth too, and a lot of other blue avians here on Earth. I had a reading with a woman the other day, and she had mainly blue avian lifetimes as well, and they would wake her up at 3 a.m, and I constantly hear of people getting waked up by these beings really early in the morning or really late at night, and that's definitely a trait.
When they come through and they are channeling through you, what are some of the symptoms or the how do you know? Like, what are you feeling when they come through and communicate through you?
Okay, yeah, I know that you've experienced it as well, but like
big time.
Just it being very, very extraterrestrial. Like it feels very different than the human form.
Yeah.
And you will notice it. You'll notice that something else is there, and it might shock you. It might freak you out a little bit. And the cool thing about their energy, it's so electrical and fast moving.
Yeah.
Through your body, it feels like an electric shock to your body sometimes.
Yes.
And when they come in, I usually feel them coming in through this area right here. Yeah. They'll come in through here, and they'll come in through the crown as well.
I get almost like an electric kind of shock just behind my ears, but there are chakras back there. So they're accessing these chakra centers in order to send their energy through in order for you to pick up their message. Yeah. It's just our mind just needs to be quiet to do so. Yeah,
it'll almost like sting your ear sometimes, inside your ear. Sometimes it's sting your eye, and you're like, whoa, can I back up a little bit?
And sometimes you might notice some fluttering. It's very fast, electrical type. And then the other thing I get is I'll get kind of like dazed and lightheaded. I'm like, oh, whoa.
Yes, very ungrounding.
Yeah, very ungrounding, very fast. Yeah.
And that's like the main one. That's part of the main trait that we see in blue avians is extremely ungrounded more than other.
That's what I was going to ask you next. Is what kind of characteristics do these lifetimes or these experiences in these vessels, and then now you're in a human vessel, so what kind of experience, like how is it that you know that you've likely had blue avian lifetimes when you're here on Earth? What's some of the behaviors that you've noticed?
Well, it's very, very rare for people to have almost exclusively blue avian lifetimes. Of all blue avian lifetimes, I very rarely see that. I've only seen that a few times. And when that happens, when I see people with most of these lifetimes, they are very ungrounded, extremely ungrounded, to the point where they're very empathic. They're very they respond to the environment around them very intensely, and they're very sensitive to others.
Yeah.
A lot of times they're made fun of by others too, because they're so sensitive emotionally and in all ways. And the cool thing I've noticed about them is that even within myself, we have a high emotional intelligence, which I thought that was pretty cool, because there's a lot of ETs that need to develop that emotional intelligence when they're here on Earth, but they already kind of have that. Being the emotional depth is what I'm talking about. Emotional intelligence is something that we kind of need to learn over time, and hold up boundaries around other people and things like that, because that's very important with like blue avians and stuff.
So sometimes maybe people might be given a diagnosis of ADHD, but they're just faster moving because of the incarnation that they've had potentially as a blue avian.
Or autism.
The mind moving differently and faster, possibly, but it also depends on how many go rounds as a blue avian that you've had. If you just kind of been like 10 times, and then you go over here and over there, and then you come to Earth, it's probably not going to be impacting you as much. Whereas someone like yourself, you've had hundreds upon hundreds of blue avian lifetimes, and I've seen red avian lifetimes, etc. And in fact, you have more lifetimes than myself, but you've just continued in
shorter lifetimes though too. these avian lifetimes that I was in these physical forms, they're shorter than most other Arcturians, Pleiadians. So it's like I could just like go and keep going into these bodies over and over again.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it like that. So when you've had a lot of blue avian lifetimes, and then you come to Earth, then you're going to maybe notice these characteristics a little bit more. And both of us have never seen someone that's only had blue avian incarnations, and then they come to Earth. We've both never seen that.
I've actually seen a reading with that recently. That's like for the first time. That's like pretty much the first time I think I've seen that.
Wow.
And the thing she was telling me is that this is some of the same problems I've had too, is like the energy is so fast moving. So when you incarnate here, it's like your mind's racing and you're ungrounded and racing a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And time, part of the reason
that is that time doesn't exist.
Yeah, and like it's like your body, it's like your energy is outside of your body. So it's like it's very ungrounding. So it's very important to get grounded and stuff like that, which I've noticed.
And so I've noticed with you, you've told me like dates or times of, what day it is or when to be there at a specific. Everything's like more in the now. Yeah. Would you say that?
And that's one of the things I was talking with her about with the person I had a reading with. It was pretty crazy. She was like, just driving or doing things in this normal 3D reality feel weird or feel like they're not very advanced. It's almost like you could just fly from point A to point B in these avian bodies. So it was just like, it was instantaneous, very fast.
Right.
And even the more advanced.
You have to get in a car. Put a seatbelt on.
I'm sure a lot of people feel like that, but even even the advanced like blue avian ETs, they're able to just teleport very fast and stuff. So I feel
How many other people have you met on Earth that are blue avians?
Quite a few, actually, but it's not very rare to see them with only blue avian lifetimes. Most people, when they try out a bunch of different origins, they'll try out blue avian, then they'll go try out Syrian, and then they'll go try out Andromedan, and then they'll try out Earth. Yeah. So they might have like an even distribution of different lifetimes just to try out different forms before they come here.
I often I've seen souls trying out different forms or starseed origins. Then they come to Earth because they need that. I haven't seen it yet where a soul comes to Earth first or only Earth. I've not seen that yet. Okay, my next question is, all right, when you have a choice and you're picking up energy Is there a type of starseed that you prefer to be around, and why?
With blue avians, it's very important for the blue avian starseeds. It's very important for them to be around other people that have a strong sense of self-love or groundedness in their body. Because if you're not, you're really going to take in the energy of everything that's around you. And that's one trait that's very strong with blue avians. Is it's almost like a phoenix. They'll take in all the energy around them, and it's very overwhelming.
Oh.
And they transmute it. And sometimes that can be a good thing. But when you're around a lot of negative people or a lot of people that are up in their head a lot, it's going to be very difficult. So that's why it's very important to surround yourself with other individuals that are more grounded, or Pleiadian starseeds to be specific, because they are more heart-centered and more grounded. And I've noticed we humans in general on Earth, we operate better within the heart center. And especially for blue avian starseeds, they like to operate in the now anyways. So it's more natural to be in this space. It's just more difficult for us to do that in human form because we're not used to it. So it's like up in the head. And it's very rare to find people on Earth in general that are heart-centered. Most people on this Earth, it's very dominated up here logically and analytically. People analyze things, overanalyze things over and over again. And it's very rare to find people that are here. And most of the time that's going to be women in general. They're going to be more open and more emotionally intelligent and more connected within their heart than men in general. That's what I would say.
How do you feel when you go out in large crowds? Like you're in Costco, you're in Walmart, you're like out there with a whole bunch of other people. What do you feel like when you're this sensitive and empathic?
It's very overwhelming. Yeah. It's very overwhelming. I can't, the more sensitive that we become on the spiritual journey as well, the more difficult it can be. But it can also be easier at times as well, because when you work with the other side, when you work with the angels, you're able to ask for shielding from Archangel Michael and other angels. And that can be very crucial and important, especially for people with these type of starseed origins. You know, they're walking into these grocery stores with so many other people around them, or sitting down at a restaurant with so many people talking, and it can be very overwhelming, and they're extremely sensitive. So sometimes it's best just to leave that situation and not be too much in that situation. And sometimes you're going to have to deal with it and handle it and just ask for shielding.
And it's not, I'm sure some days are more sensitive than other days. And when you're having a day like that, maybe just hang out and stay at home, you know, and just not go out.
Yeah.
So what are some special, what is really special about being a blue avian, in your opinion?
I think the coolest thing about it is that most people that have had a lot of blue avian lifetimes, I know that they're just really good people. Like they're just a really good person, and they mean really good, Your Honor.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is really cool. They have like a really awesome moral compass, if that makes any sense. And the cool thing about it is that we can adapt to different situations and take on the energy around us and almost kind of morph into whatever we want to in the moment, which I think is pretty cool. But the thing I like about it the most, being this type of starseed origin, is the emotional depth, being able to feel emotions at a deeper level than others. And that's really helped me in this lifetime. It's been really difficult at times, but it's also really helped me. And what I found is being around other people that are happier or have a higher capacity of happiness or joy or something, it kind of teaches me to be able to reach those feelings at times, because I never had those feelings as much growing up or early on in my lifetime. So
Yeah, I definitely have noticed your elevation in that regard, and I've also noticed your energy is much more grounded since 7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
So that's been a real blessing. It
Yeah.
just helps you live on earth when your energy is grounded more into your body rather than outside your body. Some of the characteristics of being ungrounded is you might lose things, you might misplace things, it's hard for you to keep your space tidy. You might just forget things.
Yeah, that's a
So
huge problem for
your
me, for sure.
head, yeah, thinking, overthinking, overanalyzing. Whereas being grounded, your mind is more quiet, more peaceful. You want to be around more peaceful people. You have more positive thoughts. You feel uh, calmer and you don't lose things and
I
you
wish that were the case when I would get more grounded, but that hasn't happened for me yet on Earth. I still lose things a lot, and I still lose track of time and
yeah.
a lot of things. And
Mhm.
some people are just different. You know, they're gonna do the best job that they can here on Earth, but they're just different. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think we should channel a message from the Blue Avians and see what they want us to hear because, boy, they've been trying to come in through me for at least 2, 3 weeks now. So would you like to start first and channel a message from them?
Yeah, that'd be great. And before we go into this, do you want to talk a little bit about your mediumship course?
Oh, yeah,
Because that's
that's
how I
right.
learned how to
Yeah.
channel
Uh,
these type of energies.
I have my mediumship for beginners course coming up April 15th until the 29th for 2 weeks. It's a special sale at only $111. There's going to be 7 live broadcasts in a private group where you will also then work from pre-recorded video material as well. And yes, like Paul says, he joined in with my courses, what was it, about 7 years ago now? About that.
Long time ago.
And now Paul's giving readings himself. We both give readings each week for our clients, and it is an amazing experience to learn how to channel and connect with other high vibrational positive people and have fun online. So if you are interested in that, you can check out KristinDaviesMedium.com. I also have some smaller classes happening over the next few months for only $20. So if you want to check those out too, you can. We're going to be learning about opening our third eye come February 4th for $20. And so if you want to check that out too. So let's begin. Where do you
Okay.
feel the blue avians coming in? And what does it feel like?
Hmm. uh, I've actually been feeling them coming in through this area right
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Yesterday and through today, is feeling like this gentle
Yeah.
pressure here.
I feel them right here.
Hmm.
Oh,
I feel them there too,
yeah.
as well.
They're everywhere. Help.
Yeah, it was so funny. I was having that reading yesterday with someone that it's so funny that right before the live we do, I had a reading with someone that had all these avian lifetimes, and she said they all just showed up like all around me, and I was just like, it was pretty
That's
intense for
intense. A meet and greet you didn't know you were part of.
her. They're saying greetings, dear ones.
Mhm.
Uh, they're very excited to see us share our abilities with everyone. I think this is very important that we are on camera sharing these abilities because it prompts other people to do so as well and to explore this part of themselves.
Mhm.
They really enjoy seeing people here on Earth, learning more about themselves, looking within themselves, and learning more about their starseed origins, about their angelic team. They really enjoy seeing this and see us doing this. They're saying this is the path to enlightenment. You are on the right path. And they're reiterating that a lot of people worry or lack trust or lack faith that they are on the right path, and they worry a lot of the time. And it's important to let go of this and to surrender to the moment, to the present moment, and to the light that is within the present moment. And also saying, giving yourself a pat on the back because you have come here to Earth, fallen on deaf ears at times. You didn't know what was going to happen or what was going on, so you just playing things one step at a time. So that's important, as they're also saying just taking one step in front of the other. It can be very important here on Earth. And they have one last little thing to say. Now they're going on to talk about the future here on Earth, and they don't want us to focus on things that we can't control that are going to happen in the future, or even that are happening here on the planet at the time. They want us to focus on ourselves, the light within us, focus on our angelic team, focus on spirituality, and on the positive things that we're experiencing in our reality, because this will manifest more of this. And there are things that we can't control, but all in all, we can create our own reality. And this is one great thing that many starseed origins are learning here on Earth, is to learn how to manipulate energy and to create from that space. So, yeah, that's what they have to say with me.
That makes a lot of sense. Instead of focusing on what you don't like going on in the world, obviously if you want to get some information, do so. But otherwise, turn your cheek and then focus on how you want your life to be. Stay positive and keep focused on your own experience, and therefore you will create more of. Okay. All right. Let's see what I pick up. I keep getting the word cherish. Cherish this experience here, light beings. So we're not humans to them. We're light beings, or beings of light and love. Okay? They see us as we truly are, and they're speaking of us as we truly are. It's not all woe is me or detrimental or destruction here. Remember this. Focus on the lighter aspects. Focus on the positive experiences. Focus on the light. And so shall you create more of these. Okay. They're also talking about if any one of us wishes to speak with them or ask them for help, or they're talking about venting, giving off your problems, any issues that you're having. Feel free to do that. Okay. So not only are they going to transmute that within you so you don't keep having that chronic heavy thought forms, but also when we vent to them, you're signaling to them that they're allowed to step forth in your life and help to resolve any issues you're having. Okay. And, sometimes I always say that we are part of the problem. So if you can't shift off of it or stop thinking about it or chronically putting your energy and your attention there, then they're going to help you do that. They're going to help you become more grounded, more high vibrational, more uplifted, more positive, more calm, peaceful mind. Okay. So who would like to ask a question in the comments area? And then we will begin answering some of your questions in the last few minutes here. So feel free to type your question in the comments. Love it.
That is a lot of things that I feel like the Blue Avians talk about is the ego and like belief systems and different things like that, because those are things that really hold a lot of people back here on Earth, is those different types of things.
Joanne is asking, was she a blue avian in a past life? I get the answer no.
Yeah, me too.
But I also am receiving something else on top of that, which is you're very fast paced, like a blue avian. But that's just how your energy is built. So you might focus here, there, move around with your thoughts and your attention, but that's how your soul is. It's capable and able of moving quickly. Isn't that cool? All right. Iggy is asking, what is my life purpose apart from learning lessons, of course? And does this have to do with speaking or writing? You want to take that one?
Okay. So with your purpose, I see them showing lots of light. And it's almost like they're showing me whatever you put yourself into, just know that you are carrying this light with you. And this is the most important part of your purpose here. And so, in knowing that, is wherever you place your focus upon, or whatever you choose to do in this reality, or whatever you resonate with, that is achieving your purpose or the meaning of life.
Isn't that cool? So what you did? Sorry.
This thing, just go forward and choose to do these things if you wish. They do really like for you doing some type of writing or speaking. Having these creative light outlets are a good opportunity for growth, even though they might feel not the best at times, or not knowing what you should do. Just trying different things out is very important here on Earth, is what they're telling me. Even if it doesn't work out, or even if I liked it for a little while, but now I'm moving on to something else. Now I'm moving on to writing instead of speaking,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And whether you're a painter or a writer or speaking, you're putting your light, you're infusing your light, maybe the angel's light and anyone else you're channeling while you're doing these ventures into that work, which then impacts and affects others. So often people will watch a video on YouTube of me channeling an energy, and that light will step forward and help that person who's watching the broadcast. Okay, so that's one way of the light coming and impacting. And you don't know how the light's going to step forward, but it's like a light code built into the work that you're doing. One thing I do get with you is that you have a very strong mental capacity. And I'm assuming this is from your incarnations. And I am seeing the word Arcturian. So I think you've had lifetime as Arcturian. The key is to not get too wrapped up about things and up in the head about things, but actually going out and trying and doing things, whether you're successful at it or not. People don't get that. Before I would go in for any kind of education when I was younger, I went and did on-the-job training. So I would just check out how a dental hygienist worked. And could I see myself doing this? Or I would try out and sit with someone doing a different job, or I would try a different job. And even if I had no skill or ability, I seemed to get these jobs and they would teach me on the job. And then I would try it and see if I liked it. Maybe I try it for 6 months, maybe I try it for a year. But we won't know what we like unless we go out and try many different things.
People get too over analytical in the head, and they have a fear of failure and fear of trying new things.
There's no fail.
And part of the reason that I'm doing this type of work is it means a lot to me. It helps me grow. I was scared to go on camera, scared to give readings for people. So when you place yourself over and over into these uncomfortable situations, but you know that it's the right path for you, and not necessarily know that it's the right path for me, but I know that it's going to help me grow as a person and as a soul, because I'll see the avians and the angels talking to me and a lot of other people, and they'll suggest new things, but they're not going to tell you, oh, go do this, or go, this is your purpose. But sometimes they will strongly nudge you in a direction, though, and they will say, you would be very good at this, you would be very good at channeling or being on camera or something.
Sometimes it's us taking initiative and stepping off first, and then the energy follows and directs you. It's not always just hanging back and waiting for someone to tell you where you should go or what you should do. So here, it's about you taking initiative and doing this, trying that, trying this, working with this person, going to that job, trying that, see how they do, questioning people, quizzing people, asking them questions, investigating. I would do it all, but that's the Pleiadian in me. Ada's also asking about her life purpose. I'm getting stagnancy. I'm getting, when you start a car, but the car kind of stalls out and it goes like this and then it dies. And so if you don't get the clutch and the gas just right, the car kind of goes like this and then it just quits. We're talking about this is stemming from your energy. So how do we want to proceed with that? What they're also talking about is you stretching yourself and trying new things. So it's similar guidance as to what we just stated prior, which is going out and trying new things, being adventurous and stretching yourself, doing things that may make you feel uncomfortable. And the more you do that, the less safe you're going to be. We don't want to be playing this experience on earth, or this game here on earth. We don't want to play it safe. Stretch yourself, try new things, branch out. That is the way you will find the path.
It doesn't have to be perfect at first.
No. It's all about having, and some things you might go, wow, that was amazing. And other things you'll be like, that wasn't for me.
Yeah.
But you're trying new things so that you get bust out of this stagnancy or this flat energy. And the only way you can do that is to venture outside of yourself.
In this society, it's all about choosing one thing. You have to choose one thing. If you have to stick with that one thing. If you don't stick with it, it's not going to be good. And one of the first things I chose was yoga, and I really enjoyed it, and I really liked it. And it was really it wasn't meant that I was supposed to do that forever, even though it felt amazing. And I asked that question to myself, the intuition, and my team. But really, it just led me on a stepping stone to doing channeling. So one path is going to lead you to here.
sometimes we get too comfortable and we get into this like safe, cozy space, and then we go years like this.
Yeah.
But nothing shifts, nothing moves. There's no movement, there's no momentum, and the energy gets too flat. So we need to get the energy going and trying new things and doing new stuff. And then this is the way in which you will find your path. And here's the other part of this. This is the only way that you're going to find your path. That's pretty significant. So hanging back and taking it easy and playing it safe is not going to lead you in the direction or on the path in which your soul needs. And no one's going to step forward and tell you what the path is or tell you what your purpose is. Seek and ye shall find. That's what they're saying next.
That's why it's called your purpose, your path, because you're the one that has to find it.
And it's not about you venturing out and I gotta find my own purpose. This kind of sucks. This is about you getting your energy going, trying new things, stretching yourself, getting into places that aren't necessarily comfortable to get your energy going. Right. Otherwise, it'll be
and once you get a little bit of momentum, things get easier.
Yeah, because we don't want to go another 5-10 years taking the easy route, which won't produce growth or expansion. All right. Okay, let's see if there's any last guidance that would like to come through, because this kid's got to head off and do some readings. And so my guardian angel is saying, trust and believe in the process of manifesting your soul, your true desires, dreams, and wishes. The only way that you get there is by giving thought and focusing on that which you wish to create more of. Anything that you are witnessing that you do not enjoy or experience, encompass it in light. We will get the hint. We will get the message and step forth and alter this path, alter this, alter the outcome, alter the experience, alter your thoughts in a more high vibrational direction. That which you are witnessing or experiencing, please encompass it in light, white light, or simply ask us. Thank you. This is Kristin's guardian angel, Agnes. Beautiful. All right. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Thanks for joining me, Paul. I'm going to put Paul's contact information above and below and everywhere. So you want to come check him out. Bye.
Bye, everyone.